have said that 500 times. And I can't believe I just said it just not like it was the first time. So me too.
My dad.
My eyes are closed. We're still rolling, and I'm still hitting the buttons. It's just like
Wait, the podcast started? When did it start?
Game over.
Yeah, it started. We're recording.
You didn't say like anything bad, did you?
No.
Other than that, N-word like 4 times.
Yeah.
But it was only
starting
4.
now.
Cut all that out. Now we're starting.
She's not saying the N-word. She's not hunting with her dad.
Hunting what?
Good opener.
What a terrible opener. Welcome to the Stoney Baloney podcast, Allison. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you very much.
This is a very, that 70s show.
It is. Yeah, we really should have the camera just
Spinning.
rotating the
Yeah.
whole
Ooh.
time.
Real quick, I can do
One
that.
in the middle.
Yeah. Yes, actually, yeah.
I just sit on my
Pause.
lazy Susan.
Fire it back up. Ooh. That's exciting.
But it would be nauseating for like if that 70s show was only spinning cameras.
Just the whole show.
No
of that.
chance.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They give you like vertigo.
Yeah. I'm into that.
Why? You ever had
Yes.
vertigo?
Yeah, it's hot.
Fucking sucks.
Oh.
Vertigo fucking sucks.
It's like, I love not being able to balance and puking all over the place.
Oh,
It's lit, dude.
Who needs to be able to see?
Here, smoke that.
You know what's fucked up? My oldest daughter got vertigo when she was like 6 months old.
Damn.
So that's a fairly common thing. That babies just get vertigo, just like developmental shit.
Uh-huh.
But what it looks like is a person with a head injury. And so all of a sudden she just like can't walk.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like right when she was starting to walk and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? Like she hit her head on. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and
you
it was
could
just
also, like,
drastically different. It was fucking
I
terrible.
think she's having a seizure even.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
yeah.
real awful. Yeah.
She looked like Antonio Brown. Just got hit by 12 sucks.
Yeah, just like Antonio Brown, like in an interview. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just being himself.
That's awesome. It's pretty cool. Your kid's cool, man. Where you going, Nick?
Nothing. I'm just changing the link.
Nick just goes up into the ceiling tiles, disappears. Did you just
Bye,
escape
buddy.
prison?
We could get him like a little hunting stand, like a little chair stand, so he could sit up.
That would be dope, dude.
The wall.
What is that called?
A tripod,
Oh, no, but
a
isn't
tree stand.
Tree stand, yes.
Yeah, I thought there was a name for that.
We could just build one though.
Yeah, I like that.
Get him a little lifeguard chair.
Haha.
That'd be cool.
And I
And
just
then
constantly-
make him just hold the camera.
Right. But I constantly yell at
And
you.
switch the
Or a
whole
tree
time.
line.
He's spinning in the chair, puking the whole fucking.
Oh yeah. Because he'd have to be upside down to do it.
It's actually one of those things that sucks you to the wall. So and then you just keep spinning. And I don't
The
even have
fair
to,
ride.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Very nice.
Ooh, if we did the podcast on one of those fair rides, like the
That's-
spaceship fair ride.
Yeah.
The internet would hate you. They would call you ableist for any of this content. You know what I mean? Like, I can't watch this. My ADHD.
Man, that'd be.
Get banned
Can we
on
at least do
TikTok
one
so fast.
episode that way? We have
Yes.
to. We almost
Yes.
have
Yeah, write it down. It's gonna happen at some point.
to. I mean,
I'd
we're,
watch.
we're recording. It's
Yeah.
Write that
Write it down, guys.
Write it down digitally.
really recording.
Write it down, viewer.
I'll transcribe. Thanks for reminding me when I take notes.
Oh, you've met them? It's my wife.
The one guy smoking on the other
You told me
end
she
of
didn't watch this. I hope she doesn't watch this.
She does. I found out. She does. She's like, I love your podcast. I was like, oh shit, you fucking watch it?
Yeah.
Which episodes?
Yeah.
This one for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Gotta be careful, guys.
Chick I'm dating found out that I have podcasts, so I was like, yeah, I have podcasts, and I sent her an episode from This Is Not a Scottcast, from the one I did when I was in
Yes.
COVID. I was like, look at me
Nice.
interview this guy who smoked DMT 600 times. She's like, I like this. This
Yes.
is fun. I'm like, don't watch the one
Not
with
the-
Nick Sapaglia.
Nope. Like, literally, don't start watching the podcast.
This one?
Yes.
But please subscribe.
Subscribe, for sure.
subscribe.
If you don't want to date either of these guys, please watch and subscribe.
Holy shit, we just
They're
learned how
going
many.
for people they don't want to fuck.
Yeah.
So,
But also, I'm
if you think you couldn't fuck these guys, subscribe and watch.
We're gonna get a lot of subscribers.
a lot of male subscribers, a lot of truck drivers gotta be subscribing. It's the long hair. Late nights on the road,
They
man.
look like lot lizards.
Yeah,
do,
y'all
we do
ladies
look
are too fine for those guys. You would never.
Yeah.
Not in a million years.
We do like the
We know our worth.
We look like the downest bitches at the motorcycle club. Like, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Leather mommies. I
It's
was.
the mommies that shouldn't be in leather.
yeah, exactly. It's like, did you have to kill a whole cow to make that outfit? What happened?
Yeah, it was mean.
I don't know, but I've been starting to like. I fucking am who I am, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I was on a podcast earlier today with Taylor Gorman, and I started to edit myself a little bit, and I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna be myself. If a person, like, if a girl sees that, it's like, I don't wanna, then she's not the one. Or if she can't accept me.
Yeah,
for
you're
my-
gonna be that eventually anyway.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, yeah. So you might as well get used to it now.
Yeah.
Might as well watch it third party, like a fly on the wall. And be like, so what was that thing you said
Do
about
I
like
still want to play this game? Unlock some trauma on that podcast.
There you go. So
How do I bring this up on the third date?
so this is the gauntlet. Basically, before you start dating a girl, like
I just have to
literally
show her the next
first
Saturday
night,
episode.
you're like,
What
no,
happened
no,
on that?
I like
guess
you,
I should
so
go
you're gonna have to
watch.
You talk, yeah. Oh, you haven't won now. No, nobody has. It was a story about peeing on people.
Oh. Scott seems affected by that. That's,
His dog sure was.
My dog bit Gabe right
In the
after
middle of the
we-
episode.
Like in the middle of the episode.
As we were
What
talking
did
about
you
peeing on
do?
people. Talking about peeing on people. And he is not a fan.
your dog's a kink shamer, is what
Yes.
I'm hearing from this.
He doesn't like waste play.
Yep. Even a little bit.
He's like, that's my thing!
Alright, my dog though, he will like pee in the neighbor dog's face through the fence.
Yeah, he's like, that's my fucking thing. Act like a human. What are you doing?
We're unlocking like a little bit at a time. Every episode we unlock like really what's going on with Bo.
Yeah.
It's because initially it felt like he was anti-pee, but as I didn't know about him being on the neighbor dogs, so that's what it's really about.
Yeah, he was mad that you guys were mocking him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He felt ashamed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Poor Bo. We've come full circle. Now I'm like,
Do
this
you feel bad for threatening to shoot him now?
I
Poor guy.
I did.
I feel like a lot of this podcast is just gonna be Allison watching us have a conversation, reacting to it, like, what the fuck is wrong with you two?
Probably.
I love that for all of us.
It's a long list. The answer to that
Oh
question.
my god. Jesus.
Which again, we're unpacking as we go. Are you ready for this yet?
For what? No, okay, thank you.
Jeez.
So you're familiar with the premise of the podcast?
Yes, you texted it to me.
Oh, so you read it.
Over and over and over. Yeah.
You texted, you sent it on Instagram to both my accounts. You sent a pigeon.
I don't even know how you found
You know
my
about my
brother's account.
second
A homeless
account?
guy handed me a letter. Oh, no, wait, do you have a third account? Wait, what's it called?
Well, yeah, right. That's civil disobedience.
Yeah, it's actually
Yes.
this tattoo right here.
Oh!
You're a dick, I love you. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, I think she likes me. I think we're friends now. Is this how women bond? Is this what happens in the female community?
God, she's giving you the joy.
Shut the fuck up. I do really like your nails, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Tis
actually
the
fun.
season.
Yeah.
All right, so the podcast is, since I texted to you a bunch of times, we'll explain to the viewer who might be watching for the first time. You're going to tell a story. You already told us a little bit, like, the theme of the story.
Right.
So Gabe and I are going to tell stories based on that theme. Only thing is, one of us is lying, one of us is telling the truth.
Right.
So we flipped a coin to determine that. So it's a little bit of the twin paradox. So we're going to get you stoned, and then you got to figure out who's lying to you, who's full of baloney.
Great.
Good luck.
I'm gonna just stare at these paintings for inspiration when I feel lost.
Good.
Yeah.
There will be lots
It's already
of
hazy in here. Let's just be very clear for the viewer in case they can't see it on screen.
Oh, they can.
You would just get high walking in here
Yeah.
already.
That's just my house all the time.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Don't act like your house isn't the same.
It's not.
You guys smoke out back?
Outside.
You're outdoors? Oh. Smoking weed in the house is okay. I'm not a cigarette smoker.
It's I was gonna say it's easier to get out than cigarettes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weed smoke will leave it like in a day.
Yeah.
It'll
Oh.
leave.
You gotta clean the walls still. Probably,
Yes.
from the smoke.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you guys rent too. So.
Because just
No,
just the
Oh, you
straight
don't?
up smoke, like it still. Leaves
Sorry
a
for
little bit of
assuming.
smoke.
Say it again.
It still leaves a little bit of smoke residue, like just the smoke smell. It's
That makes-
faint.
Yeah, like
That
if you
makes
move these
sense.
paintings, it might look a little different.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to see.
Right at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be content.
Ooh.
There you go.
Content for the people.
Hashtag
Or the
content.
person.
Yeah, you're right. Don't be offensive to outcasts.
So what's your story about?
Okay, so I'm gonna replace some names just
Totally
because.
fine.
But so I texted the outline to Scott. But basically, growing up, I grew up in suburbia. You know, like just outside of Austin. You know, it was cool. Whatever. I had a younger brother.
Like Pflugerville, Round Rock?
Round Rock.
Okay.
Yeah. Had a younger brother, just a couple years younger than me, and one of his best friends was a neighbor of ours. And this kid, we'll call him Danny. He he was just over at the house all the time, to the point where we call him the third kid. We would joke that he's the basement kid.
The live-in friend.
Correct.
Yeah.
He was
yeah.
our beans.
If you didn't have one of those, you were that kid.
Yes.
For sure.
I was that kid.
He was our beans.
Same,
He
same.
was our Scott.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have. I was that because
Yeah.
we didn't have a house that was welcoming for people to come over, so it was the opposite.
So obviously him and my brother were besties, whatever. They grew up together, they were close in age, whatever. So by the time my brother and Danny get to high school, I'm in college, and Danny's dad has been diagnosed with ALS. Lou Gehrig's disease. It sucks. We were talking about Michael Lair before the podcast. You know, he had that. He passed away from it. It sucks. It's a degenerative disease. You kind of for Danny's dad, Dan. It started in the wrist and kind of was just there for a while, and then it just spread really fast at the end. You can never predict it. So Danny's in high school dealing with this sick dad at home, and it was progressively getting worse. And by the time Danny was an upperclassman, he had a truck and stuff, and he had his driver's license, and his dad was getting to the point where everything needed to be done for him. He was pretty nonverbal at this point. You need to pick him up, move him, do all those things.
So I missed it. How old was he when the diagnosis happened?
The father was 45 when he passed away, so I think he
No,
was,
sorry, you guys.
the kids.
What level of school? or
Danny was probably a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
And his dad passed away when he was a senior in high school.
Oh, so it was real quick.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was fine for a year, and then just bad. So
that's rough.
very sad. He was obviously very close to all of us. It was very sad when he passed away. But at this time, he's alive. He's very dependent on a lot of people. So Danny, whatever, he's doing his thing, being a high school boy, right?
Yeah.
My family often ate dinner together when I was in high school, and
Did she just?
Yeah, I know. I get it. You
She
have
did.
Dude, we do the same thing.
Yeah. She did the thing.
Yeah. We
What?
had a good upbringing.
Oh.
And then
okay.
tried to shove it in our faces.
I wasn't.
So my family we'd eat dinner together sometimes.
We would.
No,
But our sauce
Like,
was there.
I knew all of the members of my
Yeah.
immediate family.
And look, these
I'm
weren't
gonna see them
TV
at
dinners.
Thanksgiving next week, so fuck you guys.
See, now she's really all right.
Now she's leaning into it.
I
I like it.
So anyway, so we were eating dinner one night. I think I was home from college or something, or I don't know. Maybe my timeline's a little off. and I
Oh,
was
you
still in
went to
school.
college. I bet
But-
you graduated high school too.
I did.
Here we go.
With honors.
Here we go.
With honors.
She hair flipped.
Yep.
At least our hair looks nice.
I'm gonna
on
lean
hers.
into it. If you guys are gonna be like this, fuck you guys. I'm smart as hell. So anyway, we're eating dinner and the house phone goes off and like no one answers because we're eating dinner and it goes off again and we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then we hear my dad's cell phone ringing. And we're like, okay, someone's trying to get a hold of us. And then like he misses that. My mom's phone starts going off. So she answers it. It's Danny. And he's like, you know, hey, like, can I please talk to my dad? Can I please talk to Mr. Woj? And she goes, yeah. And like she hands the phone to my dad. And my dad's just like, yep. What do you need? Yep. All right, be right there. Allison, TJ, you guys want to go on a ride to go help Danny out? And we're like, what happened? And he goes, his truck's in a lake. We gotta tow him out. What? And so we're like driving.
that nonchalant. Just
yes.
Like, shrugged shoulders. He ran it into the lake again.
Yeah, meanwhile, is your dad really accepting the phone call? Like, is his dialogue really that calm and composed?
He's not gonna, my dad doesn't freak out, okay? Like, he's not happy about what's happening. Let me be very clear. But he's like, it's not worth it to freak out. Like, the first priority is that Danny needs help. I'm gonna go help him, and then I'm gonna, like, talk to him sternly later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, after it's all said and done.
We'll deal with the repercussions after the fact, you know what I mean? We need to make sure, like, no one's hurt, etc., right?
Right.
So, like, we load up my dad's truck with, like, tow stuff, and we drive over to this lake, and, yeah, Danny and his friend are just sitting on the bank of this, like, shallow pond lake thing that I don't think is always there, and the truck is just in the water, like, submerged.
How deep?
Like 4 feet, so it was definitely enough to flood the engine.
Yeah, that's
it was,
like sunk,
yes.
like all the way.
Yeah, like the top of the cab and like the windows were still out, but it was not looking good. And so, yeah, we were not starting this car to get it out. You know what I mean?
Shit.
So,
Like
honestly,
it was a boat
like,
at this point.
It was like
it's a submarine.
It was like honestly crazy how we managed to get it out. Like we did manage. I don't think the car was running at this point, but like we did tow it out. Like we were able to find a part of the embankment where we could tow it out. And obviously like a tow truck needed to come and get it from there, but of course Danny's like losing
but you guys got it out without the tow truck.
Yes, and like Danny's losing his shit, right? Like what do I tell my parents? You know,
like
my mom has enough shit to deal with right now. Like, and you know, obviously his story for how it got in there was the dumbest thing ever. He was literally going mudding with his truck, just trying to like kick up dirt in this pasture with his truck, and him and his friend were like racing across that puddle, and it ended up being deeper than they thought.
So it wasn't. He didn't like veer off the path. He went
for it.
He was trying to lay
for it. Yeah.
Oh shit.
He went for it, and so, yeah. So you know, obviously Danny's like scheming on how to tell this to his mom when he gets home, and he's like asking my dad to help him like get this bottle of wine and some roses, and I'll pay you back, but I can't get the wine because I'm underage. I just need to give it to my mom. You know, like whatever. My dad's like, no, you know, like you'll get the flowers. It's fine. You know, like whatever. And okay, and da-da-da-da, and like whatever, and
he was like, no, she's gonna need to be drunk when she hears
you know, long story short, like Danny ends up having to tell his mom. Everyone's furious. You know, his dad is nonverbal with ALS at this point. That doesn't mean he can't make noise. He laughed. Like he was furious, but he like laughed about this, okay? And not only did he like laugh about this, 2 weeks later, we get a knock on the door from Danny, and he says, hey, I have a gift from my dad. And he hands us 4 t-shirts that say Woj's truck tow service. And on the back it says, you splash, we dad. And Danny says, my dad has been sitting in the living room giggling to himself on his computer for a week, and I had no idea why, and these showed up on the doorstep today. And we all still have those shirts. I think mine's at my parents' house. I told y'all I was gonna bring it if I could find it.
I remember you saying that.
My dad still wears his. Like,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, his dad who like couldn't talk trolled the fuck out of him. And it was like, he was so happy about it. Like, my dad wore the shirt over, because like my dad would often go over there at night to help them like move him into bed and stuff. And yeah, he like wore it over there once he got it. And then he just said Dan like lost his shit. Like, his wife was like, don't kill him! Don't make him laugh that hard! You know?
That's such a fun story.
Yeah. That just like so explains like who that guy was too, even in like such a terrible disease.
Yeah,
you know?
for real. He still had a sense of humor about him.
Yeah.
He still had his lust for life.
Yeah.
Did it like? Do you feel like his like that level of, was he always a prankster kind of?
Yeah,
or did that increase
before he had that disease? I mean, he was like the life of the party guy. Like, he totally was like a theater kid growing up too. He had a beautiful singing voice. Like, he was obviously friends with my parents. Like, him and his wife and my parents were very close. And like, you know, if they'd go out or something, like, there was like a karaoke bar in Round Rock, so it's like he would like get everyone going for that, and just like, yeah, everyone loved him. So yeah, I mean, he was that guy, and he was totally like just cracking jokes all the time too, and trying to make people laugh. So I think he just kept doing that even once he was sick.
Excellent. Just like he wouldn't let it go. That's because that, I mean, something like that, I can only imagine what that's like. Like my my brother-in-law has it, and he's had it for like, I don't know, like 10 years.
I mean, some people it just stops sometimes. Like,
yeah, it fucked up his vision and his hearing. And then he's pretty much not had any progression other than that.
Yeah.
But he was like race car driver and a like master mechanic, and obviously can't do any of that shit anymore.
Damn.
But again, he's had it for that, and it's like
right.
it just is it progressed to the point that it progressed to, and then
right.
and then it's done.
Yeah, but, I mean, like I said, like when that guy first had it, it was like in his hand for a while and just didn't do anything, and then it just started spreading after that, you know. But yeah,
I can't imagine that level of like life-changing news and reality, and to be able to like maintain.
Yeah, being so positive.
Yeah, like fuck it, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck with people.
Oh yeah,
like
there's like stories. Like I said, my dad would often go help move him into bed, like to go to sleep at night and stuff, because like his wife couldn't do it on her own, and so there was like one time where my dad went over there to do it, and he's like, you know, Dan was like spending his day in like this hospital bed that you could roll around the house pretty much, and like they would move him from that to the actual bed to go to sleep, and so my dad went to move him one time, and something happened, like the hospital bed rolled or something, and like Dan landed on the bed, but my dad landed on top of Dan, and like his wife is right there watching and being like, to my dad being like, you know, won't you get off of him? Like, don't, you know, and like obviously Dan's just like wheeze laughing underneath, like he just thinks it's the funniest thing, and like my dad's like, stop it, we're having a moment, you know, and it's just, yeah, they always just like made it funny.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine how tough that is, but that's definitely the best way to approach, I mean, anything, but certainly something that fucking gnarly.
Yeah. What else do you do?
Yeah. Were they like your neighbor?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's always so nice to have like family, like neighborhood family friends that are like really close like that. We had a couple growing up in my neighborhood, even though I come from a really like scummy fucking place. There was a couple people on our street that were really cool people, you know what I mean? And when we did get together and do those things, or just having each other's backs, you know, like that camaraderie, I don't know. Yeah. It extends your family. Yeah, because they're right there in your living vicinity, and just kind of becomes a part of your family.
Yeah, growing up we called them the Village. Like the Village still shows up to comedy shows for me sometimes.
Fuck
like
yeah,
when I got to do the Paramount with Jen, like I probably had 30 or 40 people in the audience there for me that were in the Village, which was just like
so cool.
My parents and their friends and or our like actual aunts and uncles and stuff that like had kids around the same age as us, and we all just grew up together, and they were all like kind of our moms and dads and stuff. Like, they were all just tight. We would have like family cookouts in the summer, and like you know, obviously like our real family was mostly there for the holidays, but like if someone from the Village needed a place to go, like their family would come over or whatever. It was cool.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Community building is an interesting thing, like the way we find our community.
Yeah.
Because like you got to find something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
no matter how weird and
Yeah,
I mean, even
for
you
us,
have
like,
found
it was,
friends,
like-
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, even you.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the life you're living, right? Like for my parents, they made friends with the parents of the people I was friends with in school, and it just happened to work out. And for comics, it's like you make friends with other comics. For a lot of people, you make friends with your coworkers. You keep friends from high school or college or whatever.
People you go to shows with, people you
Yeah.
go to bars with,
Yeah.
people you go to yoga with or the gym
Yeah,
with,
the
whatever.
gym people. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
People find their little niches.
Community.
Important.
Oh yeah. My grandpa did not have ALS, but my grandpa had multiple brain operations before I was ever born. For backstory, my parents were divorced. My dad had custody of me. We grew up at his parents' house, right? Grandma passed away when I was in like 7th grade, but she took care of everything because he had multiple brain operations, and he was just like the worker bee, and she handled all the finances and everything like that, all the appointments, all that sort of stuff. So when Grandma passed away, his brother became the power of attorney, and he would handle all the like finances and shit like that. He would help take Grandpa to his doctor's appointments after a certain time. Not long, a couple years before I moved out is when things started like really declining with his health. He had another like stroke while I was in my 20s, and he had to have another brain operation like while I was an adult. So, but he was very functional. Like he was functional, he just couldn't like. He got to a point where he couldn't like drive himself places. So his car,
which has got to be the most frustrating.
Right. You're mostly there, but I'm not allowed to drive.
Yeah, you just can't do the shit that you're like. I fully understand how much I can't do. Like that's gotta be way worse.
Yeah, like watching that happen to yourself. Yeah. And you can see it happen with like some elderly people, like people that you're close to. You can kind of watch them start slipping, and you can like almost see them notice that they're slipping. You know, and then that's when you become like a little kid again. Remember when you're like 3 years old and you start covering, like that's when you first start lying to like cover up little kid shit that you did. You know what I mean? So you're like, oh fuck, I don't want them to think I'm a fucking baby. You know what I mean? So like, the same thing happens with us when we get older too. It's fucking weird, right? That like, I don't know, those bookends of life.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. You kind of start and end in diapers.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah, best case scenario.
Yeah.
It all ends the way it
Yeah,
started.
if it goes the way everyone says you want it to go, which is dying peacefully in old age in your sleep, you're probably in a diaper.
Yeah, you're shitting yourself. For sure. Yeah. Drooling. Definitely. I hope I get a little dementia.
Shuffleboard though.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
just
I don't
enough
want,
to be fun with it.
Yeah, just
enough to, and also to your point, to not know when I start slipping. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to have
And
any
it's not
idea.
enough that anyone calls you out about it either.
Exactly.
Like I said, you're fun dementia.
Yeah. Everyone's like, he's kind of wacky.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he thinks it's 1975. No, he doesn't know what a car is. You know what I mean? Like, there's a line there. Like, 1975, cool.
And I
Can't
don't,
drive,
but I
dangerous.
still drive one. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah.
that's the point I want to be.
Yeah.
It's not like poop yourself dementia. It's like he thinks I'm grandma and he won't stop giving me money dementia. You know what I mean? Like I love this sort of dementia. It's like instead of being like, oh, he's like a cool drunk. He's like a nice drunk. Instead of like, no, he'll like beat you.
Yeah,
It's not good.
He's gonna yell at the bartender like he's a bad drunk. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But, yeah, it's funny how you can have two different types of dementias.
Yeah. And also, I'll be drunk. Like I want a little bit of both.
Are you
Oh,
a
yeah.
happy drunk?
For
Are
sure.
you a fun drunk?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
is he a fun drunk?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, for sure. I want my dementia to make me forget about
Check.
like the addictions that I'm dropping. You know what I mean?
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah.
To where I'm like, no, I'm totally an alcoholic now. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I
like, there's no
I'll
guilt
find-
about it, right?
Yeah, none, exactly. Yeah, because you don't know any better.
Yeah, because I'm just in Margaritaville at the fucking senior home, dude. I'm just living
Is
around.
everyone there?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
Jimmy Buffett reincarnated somehow.
Yeah, for sure.
And it didn't take a lot of convincing.
No.
'Cause
No,
they're all
This
also
is the
senile.
vibe,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because of the dementia, it was really easy to convince me that I'm Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
All you had to do was play the song one time, and I was
Right.
like, I've been to Key West.
And also because he got fake IDs made that say Jimmy Buffett. And he's been going as Jimmy Buffett for like 5 years as the lead up for this. It's a very intense plan.
And I got the
He's
fake
really
ID tomorrow and just started keeping it in my wallet. So when I get the dementia, I find the ID and I'm like, oh, clearly.
Oh, I'm
Glad we set this
wasting
scheme up.
away again.
Shut the fuck
God
up.
damn.
No. No. You change your attitude and change your latitude, mister. No.
Change your attitude and latitude.
So speaking of Jimmy Buffett, my grandpa.
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy
my
Buffett,
grandfather,
my
yeah.
grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
My
was
grandfather,
the
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
I changed the names of my stories too. So my
Okay.
grandfather's name is Jimmy
Great,
Buffett,
awesome.
just for the sake of.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where Grandpa couldn't drive, and his car, his like 2004 Honda Accord, used to just sit. Or no, it was a Civic, but he used to just sit in the driveway unattended to. And me being, the good grandson that I am, would steal the keys
You would attend to it.
from my dementia-ridden grandfather so I could take his car out at night. He thought he lost his spare key, you know what I mean? But it was right there where I put it in my sock drawer. Hey, look, he wasn't using it. Somebody had to.
Safe keeping. He was gonna forget about it.
And he did.
He did, exactly. So
He was going to lose it, and I was
no
going to prove it.
harm, no foul.
The amount of times that I had to help my grandfather look for his wallet that I stole is fucking insane, dude. I mean, he's so forgetful, that guy, Grandpa.
Grandpa, I steal your wallet every week. How do you not?
And then what happened was the dementia got so strong that he forgot who I was. And then I was like, oh, this feels bad.
Oh.
That's my karma. My karma
Yeah, that sounds like
for stealing Grandpa's car.
Oh,
Stealing.
jeez.
Ma, I stole Grandpa's car. Ma. I steal the fuck out of the car.
This is like the scariest thing I've ever smoked, by the way.
It is. Yeah, it's terrifying.
I have some things to say to the people at Cookies.
Student class. God.
Right out.
Yeah, this is for you and I. We're the ones telling stories now.
Oh my lord. Seriously.
Got him good.
Let's bring the dog in here, dude. That's me.
Nick takes one hit and runs away,
Hey,
coughing in the background.
he's gonna see this, don't say
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Nick.
why I said
Hey.
it.
Hey, dude, what?
What are you talking about?
We're talking
Podcast,
about
I
how
hope.
great your mustache is.
Thanks, dudes.
He does have a great mustache.
Yeah, I just really looked at it for the first time and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a thick stash.
Babies like it, I've noticed. Which
Babies like it. You grab it?
Yeah.
It's a caterpillar.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's why I
spectacular.
keep it.
That you've got a grabbable
For the children.
mustache.
Yeah.
That's.
You also have such a likable energy that I'm sure babies feel comfortable around you.
I like babies.
You're
Yeah.
gonna be a good dad one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting.
One day.
Whew. But honestly, I feel like I would have such anxiety because, that's a fucking living thing.
Yeah, it's
You
scary.
can't let that thing die.
It's great, yeah.
That's
it's
nuts.
Very scary.
Dude, I hate holding other people's kids. Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
definitely feel very cautious. One of my best friends had a baby and he's the cutest thing ever, but yeah, I was so scared to hold him the first time. And she's she's used to handling him, so she just hands him over.
Aw,
Not
yeah.
roughly,
Just
but she just knows what to do and I'm
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Anytime a friend's trying to hand me a kid, an infant, I'm like, let me sit down on the couch first. All right, comfortable. You hand me the kid. You tell me what to do.
Yeah,
teach me how to play the guitar,
seriously,
man. I don't
hold
fucking
the head
know.
like this.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
so
know.
scared of the neck. I'm always
Yeah.
like cradling the head. I don't know what age you're supposed to stop doing that at.
Yeah, I always feel like it's like
Toddler.
weird abstract rules or like hold the head but not too stiff. It's like what the
Yeah.
fuck is the perfect medium to hold a baby, dude? I don't know, alright?
Just keep it in his carrier.
Should I just punch it in the
His
sauce?
carrier.
His carrier.
What? Oh yeah. Speaking of which, you know
mean-
what to do.
you mean
You
the
have
mother?
children. The mother. Nice. No, you're good, Dad.
This is coming from the guy who just told you that he would steal his grandfather's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the end of the story?
No, not
Like, we got derailed again.
That's just the
This is such a
backstory.
stoner podcast.
That's
That's why it's 2 hours.
That's why we give ourselves a 2-hour block, because we interject. Gabe and I can try to have a 10-minute conversation on the phone. I'll call him with like the intention of like, hey, all right, I want to call Gabe and talk to him about Allison's story. And I call Gabe and he answers and he says some fucking Fruit Loops shit. And then I'm like, yes, and then the next thing you know, we've been riffing.
2 hours later, and he hasn't said the thing, and
And
he's
I haven't said
fully
the-
forgotten because it's been 2 hours, obviously.
Mhm.
And then 20 minutes later, he calls me back like, "Oh shit, the thing I was gonna say."
And this is like every day.
Calling a crazy thing a Fruit Loops thing is
Yeah.
like my new favorite phrase
That's
for
right.
that.
Yeah, that was pretty good off the cuff.
That was
moment.
pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed that as well.
I'm glad you know it's off the cuff because I've been practicing that in the mirror. Like, all week long, I'm like, Fruit Loops. You gotta say it. Fruit Loops. You gotta say it the right. It's all about how you
It's gotta
say it.
feel natural.
It's gotta feel
I'm gonna
natural.
make Fruit Loops happen. Okay?
Yeah.
Give it
That's
up.
a TikTok thing.
It's never gonna happen.
And that's the thing is, like, if I had to say it like not too feminine, because you know what I mean. Like,
Fruit
you're like,
Loops,
oh,
right.
Yeah, because
You're
you could be
being-
calling him gay for that.
for sure, yeah.
Speaking of Fruit Loops,
Anyway.
Speaking of Fruit Loops, my dementia-ridden grandfather.
That's not
Back on track.
segue.
So anyway, I used to enjoy riding this car at night all the time. And one night, I went to go pick up my friends Billy and Michael, who at one point in our life, for most of our childhood, I was like their living like third kid.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
So
and then
they
there
were
was
brothers.
right, they were brothers. And then there was like 2 different summers where it was after their dad lost their house after like the divorce and fucking the business fell through, he lost the house, and they stayed at my house for 2 summers, which my house
How the turntables.
yeah, and I like it was completely opposite worlds. But I remember
You
stealing
were like,
grape-
they've never stopped doing heroin, oddly enough. Everything changed those 2 seconds.
But dude, we used to ride that car fucking ragged all the time because Grandpa wasn't using it; it was just fucking sitting there.
And it wasn't your car.
And it wasn't my car. Exactly, it wasn't my car. So
I know how to drive other people's cars.
I know exactly how to drive other people's car. I know.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah, you know, you drove a stolen car. I drive a stolen car. Like,
Yeah.
but I remember they were having like a big birthday party for one of Billy and Michael's cousins. They used to have this big fucking like festival style party every year. And we went out there like we're underage, like we're not 21. Everyone else there is like, you know, college and adults, and we're just out there getting fucked up. And this is still like struggling to know where to find weed dates for us,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And also,
Worst days.
yeah, and still at a point where it was like we were out of high school, but it was the sort of party that like they had a time, like there was a limit for us to be at the party. Like we had to leave. Like shit was about to get too freaky and too wild and too weird. Like they wanted to just do coke and mushrooms and, you know, strippers
Get
in
these
the open.
18-year-olds out
Yeah,
here.
get the 18 and 19-year-olds out here. So we did, and we go back to the house, and that's when steal Grandpa's car. Oh, but before we leave, we got some weed from like one of our dad's buddies, right? So we found weed. So that was another reason, like another big incentive to leave. Was like, we have weed. Who gives a fuck if we're at the party now? Like,
Yeah, you got the score.
yeah. Because like back then, stealing booze was easy. All of our dads were like hardcore alcoholics, And we used to just go to the fucking food line and shoplift Sparks and Juice and Four Loko and shit like that all the time.
The number of comics that just like openly admit to shoplifting all the time as kids is crazy to me. I would have felt so bad. I had such a guilty conscience.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm just saying you guys had way more fun than I did.
I stole so much shit. Oh my god, I stole everything.
I used to be a really bad person.
Yeah.
Allison.
Yeah.
I promise, dude. Yeah. Oh my god.
For a long time.
Yeah. For a long time. Yeah. I just became a good person. Like
just this afternoon.
as soon as we started the podcast, I was like, you know, turn it over
You
to Leaf
repented.
today. Yeah, I have a ton.
He started hearing the stories and he was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, as soon as you guys were like, remember that time you told that story? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Right around the time that you're like, unless you don't want to date these guys, don't watch the podcast. That's around the time that I decided I'm a good person.
I'm gonna clean up now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
I take it back. These guys are great. Go for it. Slide in the DMs.
What's great is we can cut out after I take it back. So I'll just say these guys are great. Slide in the DMs, and we'll just post that. You know,
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
You can clip it.
Yep.
Clip it.
Clip.
I'm using that as a reference. I'm gonna post it on my Instagram story every day. Like she says. This
Oh,
increases
man.
my potency. You see how that works, right? The fuck were we talking about?
Your
You
grandfather,
stealing your
you
grandpa's
finally just got
car.
there.
God. Yeah, this preamble is long. Good lord.
We
Yeah,
got
this
fucking-
intro is.
No, but you're
words.
getting on it.
Damn it.
Reading the
If I told the
Declaration
story
of
fast, it'd be
Independence
fucking
over here.
boring. We have to interject. It'd be a
No.
20-minute podcast if we all just told our story and then just you tell your story, I tell my story, you tell your story, and then all right. So
And then
who's
we
live?
all clap. And then
And then we go. That'd be the quickest podcast ever. The fuck?
we're doing an episode like that.
Also, don't
That'd be
ask.
so funny. Well, like, you keep doing these podcasts where it's 2 hours, and then all of a sudden you do a 20-minute, you're like, you like it? And then, like, if we're like, wow, that was boring.
That was terrible. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
boring. I appreciate the things I
Also,
We'll
how the
call
fuck
the episode "You're Welcome, Nick."
How are y'all gonna interrupt me and then we're all gonna go off on these tangents? We've gone on like 4 different tangents together since we started my story, and then you're all like, "Hey, hurry the fuck up, dude!"
No,
What
that
are you
was
talking
bad.
about? We've been talking. We're having conversation like friends.
I didn't know you were gonna get
It's
upset
not, it's
like
not just
this.
a podcast.
Did we just give him weed or did he have something else? Someone get him an EpiPen.
Fuck you, Alice.
God
I'm
damn.
glad I saved your name as Whoreface in my phone. Fuck yourself.
Oh, good lord.
Literally anything is easy
Nice to
spell
meet Kyle from
than
the
Porter
Amanda Show today. That's crazy.
Totally, Kyle. Was that Drake's bell?
Yes, it was.
With long hair or something?
With like a blonde wig.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I just can't wait for the day like when we're having like 2 separate conversations.
Just
Yeah,
over top of each
yeah,
other.
on top,
Oh, yeah.
like,
They've
it's-
just clocked out.
really
like,
just makes
a
it
minute ago.
It's gonna be nice. Yeah,
I like it.
What are
That's
you
good.
doing
That's the way
It's
it
a
should
playful.
be.
It's a playful pod.
I feel like you guys are
Oh,
doing
that's how we'll do the short episode. We'll tell each other stories, and you and the guests will tell each other stories at the same time.
Oh, that was...
Dude,
You
no
guys
one's done
are
it.
truly trying to make this unlistenable.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
what
And it's
is-
incredible. I'm on board
And
for it.
unwatchable. Okay, can you do that one the same time you're spinning? Can that be the same episode?
I kind of do want to get a crow's nest.
Oh shit, that does make sense. That would be the
Dude.
the speed run episode. I love that. Yes.
Just smash
Can you
all
write-
the weird
can you write
ideas
this
into
down?
one.
Yes.
Yeah, I meant to write other
Yeah, write it down. Write it down, Nick.
We're recording! Guys! What the fuck?
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, did you start recording already?
I haven't started. This has been I've been waiting for you to tell me to record.
Okay, start now.
Starting now.
Yeah. Are you guys good and warmed up? Ready to tell your
All right.
stories?
Are you serious?
This episode feels like a bad acid trip, and I love it.
It's
Or a
good.
good acid
Or
trip.
the best.
Best acid trip. I put acid in your water.
Oh, great.
I drank your water.
That makes a lot of sense.
So we get back to Grandpa's house.
We should get a PA to get us waters.
You need a PA only for retrieving water.
Just for that, yeah.
Or like maybe we could put them in the fridge.
Oh, you could.
Oh.
Wow, using the fridge that's in this room, crazy.
Crazy.
Idea.
It takes up an outlet too. I'm not able to use an outlet because of this fridge.
I like this. Mike, okay?
Hey, the camera wasn't even on me. Why you gotta bring attention?
Well, now it is.
That's in my fidget. Yeah, now it is.
I was just talking to you, human to human. You're here trying to do a podcast. I'm just trying to hang out with my friends, dude. You know I'm just talking.
I've noticed, Scott.
Hey, so welcome to the Stoney Baloney podcast. We're gonna get wacky with Scott and Gabe. So my grandpa's car.
That's the new intro.
Start producing that.
Little scene.
Write it down. Jesus Christ, I hate you all.
No.
I hate how much I love you all. So we get back to the house with the weed, the coveted weed. Oh, yes, marijuana. And we steal Grandpa's car. We go down the street to like roll up. We're just like parked in the cul-de-sac and we roll up and we ride up to the top of the street and we like light up and we go to pull out the street. And I pull out and I had like my hat on. I don't wear my hat when I'm driving. And I don't put it on my dashboard anymore either. Because when it turned out, my hat started sliding across the dashboard. And I was like, hat. And when I did that, my left hand that was holding the steering wheel was like, I will go the way that the right hand goes. And I fucking drove into a ditch. And then was like, oh no, I'm in a ditch. And fucking whipped it back. The car jumped up out the ditch. And it landed. And it was like pointed at the other side of the road, which was like a hill, right? But when it landed so hard that the back right tire fucking blew.
Oh, fuck.
And it fucking spun the car back into just like some bushes. I was just landing safely in some bushes with my friends. Like, not even, but like, so not far away from my house at all. Also, my house is like the top of the neighborhood, the top of the street. We didn't even make it down like the next fucking street, the next block. And I fucking did this like as soon as I pulled out of the street.
I heard it's
as
like
soon as I pulled off
most likely
Pelham.
that you're gonna get in a wreck within like a certain radius of your house for some reason, because you're like so used to the area, you pay
You're
less
so
attention or
comfortable,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's like stubbing your toe walking out the bathroom, you know what I mean? You go in and out the bathroom so many times a
Right.
day that you're just like, I know all these angles, baby.
Right.
I ain't paying attention to shit.
Yeah.
Second brain kick in. Let me check Instagram. Oh!
Seriously. You know, knock yourself out with that one.
You ever stubbed your toe so hard that your toe stops but the rest of your body goes
Yes.
forward?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
Dead ass. Have you ever? I always call it the funny bone in your knee. Have you ever hit that one?
Ooh, that's
I
cool.
literally I was walking into my door this morning and I like totally misgauged like where the door frame was.
Right.
And I just like banged my knee immediately into it. That was tough.
There was one time when my ex was living with me and I dead ass like he left the bedroom door open at an angle I wasn't used to, so I wasn't looking for it when I got up to go to the bathroom, and I dead ass walked into the door frame so hard that
I've done that before.
I gave myself a black eye, and because he was the one that left the door like that, like the next morning when he saw it, I was like, I'm telling everyone you hit me. Like, straight up. Like, this is still your fault.
For months, I'm gonna tell people that you hit me. A
For
buddy
the
of
record, I
mine.
never did that, I wouldn't, but
No.
that's what I said to
But
him,
you
because
should
I
have.
was like, what the
You
fuck?
definitely should
Don't
have.
leave the door like that.
One of my buddies was watching a house. He used to do work for this like multi-million-dollar like house that this couple owned, and when they would go out of town, he would get to watch it. But all of the bedroom doors were like front doors, like solid wood, just heavy as
big
fuck.
heavy doors.
And he did that one time, and it was like we threw parties there when they
Yeah.
went out of town too. So it was late at night, but he was also drunk, and he had a fucking line,
Yeah, that shit sucks.
a dark line where he just like cracked his skull for a solid week. It was just like
Oof.
a
A brain bruise?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, it was
No.
brutal.
That's rough.
Oh.
Fuck.
Just straight into the fucking corner.
Was he was he okay? Like, did he verbally, was he cognitively there after that?
I mean, by the next morning he was fine.
God, that's like all the important stuff.
Yeah, the brains.
Well, no, but like
that part,
specifically all that shit. That's like
you kill
emotion,
someone if you hit that part hard enough.
Lobotomize them.
Yeah. That's how you get a little bit of the old Junior Seau.
That's
right
crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Back to Antonio Brown. This is coming full circle podcast.
Incredible.
Was that the end of your story that you
No.
got wreck?
Nick just knows me so well. I love you, buddy.
Hey.
So yeah, we wrecked the car, and it wasn't that bad. It was really just the tire blew, and then some some debris in the fucking bumper from like the bushes and shit. So we ended up pulling the car into the next neighborhood, walking back through the woods to my house, getting like the tire wrench. Walking, because the tire wrench wasn't in the car, it was in the fucking garage, like in the cinder block shed in my backyard. We get that, we go back, change the tire, and we end up just giving up on this mission, coming back home. Over the years, I continued to run that car to death. Like, I ran the shit out of it. I did donuts.
Because again, it's not like Grandpa was coming back.
Donuts and fields.
If he couldn't drive it now, he wasn't going to be able to drive it later.
Right.
You know?
All that shit. Just ripping fucking the world apart, dude. And then it got to a point where Grandpa's brother was tired of taking Grandpa to his doctor's appointments. And the power of attorney decided that it would be a good idea if he signed the title of that car over to me so that I could give Grandpa rides to doctor's appointments and shit. Yeah. So I kind of pranked myself a little bit there.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, because it wasn't my car, so I just drive the shit of it. And then one day, it was my car.
It was your car.
What were we talking about earlier? Karma?
Karma. It was karma as fuck, dude. Very karma.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah.
Do you still have that car?
No.
No.
I sold that car to pay off a crack dealer.
Great.
When I was running the crack Ponzi scheme, when I was like getting fronts from the different dealers, we talked about that before.
Yeah, different episode. If you watch the podcast, you would know.
So I would get like a front from one weed guy, right? Get the
Right.
money from that, and I would get fronts from multiple people. So I'd take the money from this guy and use it to pay back this guy, get
Right.
another front from him, take that money to pay. And I was just doing that in a circle with like 4 or 5 people at one point. But it all caught up to me, and I ended up having to sell that car to catch up with the fucking Ponzi scheme that I created. Sold it to my buddy that I was living with.
But it's set like
Wow.
the way you're describing what happened to that car, it seems like it was destined to get sold to pay off a crack dealer one way or another. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it was you or a little bit down the line. And,
One day.
and to this day, that's probably happened at least a couple more times. That car has
That
been sold
exact car.
to
Wow.
pay off crack dealers multiple times for sure. Yeah.
Look, it was either gonna be I was gonna
That's
get the
deep.
title.
Yeah, that car is a soul.
That car has a soul.
Yeah. Well, it did.
Yeah.
You think it's nothing now?
No, it's seen too much.
Makes getting defensive. Don't hurt his feelings.
I just wonder, oh man, what happened to that car?
You kind of get to finish the story. You know what I mean? Maybe it got bought up by some guy who's like an EV enthusiast and they put a big electric engine in it. That's not a happy story. Why would
Someone
you
wants to
happy?
write a
That's a sad story.
screenplay.
That's a
so
sad
write
story?
it.
That's a different story for a different day.
Wow.
But yeah, fucking karma is shit, dude. Yeah, and then yeah, it definitely was like the perfect car to use to pay off some of my drug debts that I had accrued at that time.
Man, what a
good
wild
fucking
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
that was in my like from like 19 to 24, somewhere in that range of like stealing that car and then being given that car and then having to sell that car.
What a
No, you need to
different
put your hair
life.
up. Put your hair up. Play with your hair.
I know. What a different life you have than me. You're so funny. You're so silly.
I love you, dude.
I love you too, Scott.
It's
Don't clip that.
actually edit that out. I don't want just the Scott saying I love you and me just playing with my hair and ignoring him. That'll show him. No, it's also been really good, like, since, because, like, not long after that, Grandpa got put in nursing home. They sold the house. I moved out. My dad moved out different places, and that's when I split ways from my dad. And like I was talking about earlier, since I've distanced myself from my father, I only get fucking healthier and happier as the days go on. And I get to meet more, like, normal people who had normal lives, like you, who are so loving and welcoming and community driven, that have, like, brought me into their families and in their lives and their Thanksgivings, you know what I mean? And, like, whatever, I've been able to recycle that energy back and give it to other people,
Yeah,
hopefully.
for sure.
Yeah. Not just be a scumbag.
And you walk the walk too. You totally do like a Thanksgiving thing and invite a bunch of people, which is like super awesome. That's a lot to do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's great.
Yeah. I have a spot that I can do it now.
Yeah.
So many Thanksgivings I had to spend at other people's houses or at fucking Waffle House or something, you know.
Oh my God, Waffle House! I've had too many sad Waffle House Thanksgivings.
Aww.
Thanksgiving, birthday, fucking Christmas
Waffle
at Waffle House, all of them.
Do they do any specials? Do they serve like turkey?
They'll do like
Turkey flavored
Yeah, but like
Turkey
prison,
sausage.
like
Sorry,
prison
waffles.
turkey.
probably turkey waffles.
Prison turkey.
Turkey
Yes,
bacon?
yeah, like
Cafeteria
yeah,
turkey.
Turkey bacon?
it's like it's sliced turkey.
It's actually healthier on
But,
Thanksgiving
like-
to eat at Waffle House.
Here's the two conversations, by the way.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
you
Nailed
can't
it, dude.
tell
Hell yeah.
if like I'm not sure if it's turkey first of all, or even if it was sliced. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like that was just squirted out onto a machine and cooked in that form in a slice. It was bad. It was
Do
bad
they
shit.
do they serve turkey like dinner in prison on Thanksgiving?
Probably, yeah.
I think
Or
so.
some version of it.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. If you're in prison, let us know.
For sure,
Dude,
we're gonna have some
watching a
former
podcast
inmates
in a prison, that would
watching
pass
this
the time.
podcast. If we don't already.
I mean, the fan base I'm going for is like those Joey Diaz, Ali Sadiq type people. So if we can, you know, if we can find a way to get this to those smartphones and tablets.
I don't think that's how you pronounce her last name. I get it wrong a lot, but I've never gotten it that wrong.
That was like such a niche comedy joke. Like only a handful.
That was literally for the three of us in this room. Nobody's gonna understand it outside
I
of
don't
that.
get it.
Tell your story, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I was also one of those kids. So I spent most of my time hanging out with, and some of it was just the fact that like we had I had 5 siblings, we had a full house, and it was like we didn't need any more people, but also like I had a super abusive growing up. Like it was, my house wasn't a happy place to be, so I wanted to be outside of that anyway. So I spent most of my time outside of school just hanging out at a friend's house, you know, in the afternoon, stuff like that. But one of my buddies that I spent like years, I actually ended up like when I moved out of my parents' house when I was 17, I rented their basement, but this was before that. This was when I was 16. We were always getting in trouble together, the two of us, like constantly. And it was like I lived at their house so much that I was grounded at their house separately. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't involve my parents.
100%.
Like it had nothing to do. Like I had my like separate life. Like I could get in trouble there, and it would never come back. And when I came back, like if I was gone for a couple days and came back, it was like, no, your punishment isn't over. You've still got 2 more days of what, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if he was grounded and I was there, I was allowed to come over, but it was like, you can come over, but under these, like, you have to live under these circumstances if you're gonna be here, right?
I had my house, the Roushes, the Sellers, my buddy Mikey Doggett's, and then the Coles. And I had, I've definitely
Different sets of rules too. It wasn't the same sets of
Uh-huh.
rules, so you had to like play different rules at different houses, and then also like, if you fucked up there, you had to remember like, I'm kind of in trouble at that house. So
Before you know it, you're like taking trash out of the house that you didn't have chores at.
Yes,
that you weren't
exactly.
trouble at. You're like,
Yes.
They
You're
think
like,
you're a good kid. They're
yeah.
like, well, no, we can take them off restriction actually.
yeah, he's earned it. Yes. So this was one of those times where we were both in trouble for fucking who knows. Probably we got caught stealing some shit because he and I were absolute kleptos. We stole shit all the fucking time. So and
Allison's
everything.
a good
like,
kid. What's the worst thing you did in like high school, like growing up? What's the most troublemaker thing? Did you like sneak out at night? What did you do?
No, this is like seriously so lame. You guys are gonna like think this is the dumbest thing ever.
Okay.
I like helped them organize the senior prank, and that was literally like the funnest thing I probably did.
What was it? What was this?
So we wanted to like, okay, so it was kind of trolly. They like were really getting pissed about the senior pranks because the ones in previous years were actually destructive to the property. Like, you know, like oil on the tile hallways, so people were getting hurt. Like, there was one where they like filled water cups and put goldfish in some of them, but like put them all across this huge hallway, so there's just like thousands, and they couldn't just like knock them up because there's fish. You know,
there's
like
fish in some of them. Oh,
yeah,
that's
like
good.
some of them just get crazy. So like. Anyway,
yeah, that's very elaborate.
That's
so
clever.
they had like all these rules in place, but anyway, at our high school, a lot of the seniors had off period for their last class at least every other day. So we organized a root beer kegger during the off period in like one of the passing areas, so it wouldn't actually block anything. And because it was root beer, they couldn't actually like do anything, and none of us actually had class, so they couldn't kick us off campus. And we all just dressed up like we were like Greek life people, and we're like doing keg stands and like chugging on campus and like throwing a party. And then like the teachers got mad and tried to arrest us, but then the cops came and were like, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
And so it was mostly just us trying to piss off the teachers because they couldn't do anything. And then we went to a house after and had a real party.
And did the real party, yes.
Yeah. But you know, that was the most like in like I really didn't break the rules in high school. Like that was the most in public mischief I did.
Wow.
I mean, we TP'd houses, I guess, but that was like kind of common around here to just like do that. That
Yeah,
wasn't, like,
I
anything
remember.
crazy.
Yeah, I remember TPing houses. That was that was a classic move. I had to
Houses
clean up
in
a
every
house
park.
that got TP'd once because we got found out, and that was the worst because it rained overnight. And so
Yeah.
we were up
Yeah,
there
oh
just
yeah, we did
just
that
like-
with,
just like
yeah, it
pulling
just gets so
sloppy
gross.
toilet paper off the trees.
We did that one a couple
Yeah,
times.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually TP'd a lot of houses. Yeah.
I only did a couple.
I like it's bad that I
But it
didn't
was
even think
fun.
that was bad, but I guess it's kind of bad. I don't know.
No,
Egging's way
it's
worse.
just annoying.
Yeah, egging is like way worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that can like peel paint off. and shit.
I got egged, but
Like at
Like your
your
head, your
person,
body?
like
no,
you?
like our house got egged.
Nice.
But
That's rough.
yeah.
Probably just Danny's dad.
Did you deserve it? It probably was. He did a roll by egging. So
Dude, why is he barking so much?
because he wants to be part of the podcast.
Does he like to get high?
He's like, pee on me.
Pee on me when you're not strong.
Yes, precisely. Yeah, that's where I was hoping that would go. No, little puppy, no barking. Did you tell him?
What?
Did you tell him no? What did he say?
No. Don't. Oh my god, I think he killed him.
Oh man.
Yeah, he definitely killed the dog. Yeah, he had that look about him. And the blood on his shoes also. So I basically
I put him down, first of all. Alright, I didn't kill him, I put him down.
Yeah.
It was very,
So he made.
yeah, it was very humane.
I put him down from
Yeah,
the
he's
roof.
not me.
Yeah, put him down from the roof. Well, he's still out there, but
Yeah, but he's down.
he's down. And he's
Out.
he's quiet.
Very quiet. So quiet, in fact. So I basically lived at this house, but also he was a troublemaker kid, and we were always getting in trouble, especially when we hung out together. But also, they gave him the basement apartment, and he had a separate exit. So like we were always sneaking out and shit, and it's like, of course
Yeah,
we're
is
gonna
it
fuck
even
around.
sneaking out at that point?
Yeah, basically you let us out.
Yeah.
So this was one of those time periods where we were grounded, right? Basically. And we were having to do, we were having to mow the lawn and just, do all kinds of extra chores and shit, to to work off of this, right?
Right.
So that morning we had brought the it was like a big push mower, and like the two of us had to push it up. The side of his house was just like this steep ass hill, and it gets stuck, and we're like rocking it back and forth in this rut, and all of a sudden both of us are like, what the fuck? Like just like fire on our legs, and we look down, and we're covered in yellow jackets.
Oh, Jesus.
I've been sworn by yellow jackets 4 times in my life. Sworn. Attacked by an entire fucking...
Sworn.
He's been sworn.
I've been sworn. Eat a dick! Fucking yellow jackets, man. They're so rude.
Yeah, right.
So, I remember that was when I found out his dad was allergic to bees.
Oh, jeez.
Because he's literally inside the screen door, like, yelling out at us, like, run! Run away from them. It was also the first moment...
Run!
At 16, it was the first moment when I, like, realized that, like, adults were useless. I'm like, if I was dying out here, if I was also allergic, I just would have to die.
That's the worst day.
Run.
There's nothing he's doing.
I love that.
He's bringing 0 to the table.
Yeah.
He was also an ex-Marine, like, oorah guy, and, like, and he was like, I got an EpiPen in here. So...
Run. Oh, you mean do the thing I'm already doing?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for the tip, bro.
Thanks for the, yeah.
So the day
He's just
started...
a cheerleader at that point.
Yeah.
Run, go,
I
team.
got stung 50 times.
No way.
Because my buddy went uphill and I went downhill, and the hill ended and like there was like a bump up, and then the next yard, and when I was running down the hill, my foot caught that, and I like hyperextended my knee, and so I was like trying to get up and just getting stung immediately, and while I was doing that, that gave him the opportunity to run up in the street and get away from the bees. So he still got stung like 20 or 30 times, but I got stung a fuckload. It was so, like literally all of everything that was exposed was stung. It was fucking terrible.
Jeez.
So that's how the day started. I remember at one point.
There it is. Came back to life.
Resurrected it.
At one point, my body was like throbbing because of all of the fucking
I
poison
bet.
coursing through my veins.
And all the like swelling too.
Yeah, I didn't get any swelling. Like,
Oh,
it
really?
wasn't, yeah, like, I mean, the like, little red spots where the stings were, but I've
That's
never
what
had
I mean.
any
It's
bad
just even
reaction.
that like
Well,
little bit
yeah.
of swelling on. If you get stung that many times, your
Yeah.
body's still gonna
I
be
feel
like, what
that's
the
an
fuck,
amount,
dude?
even if they're not killer wasps or whatever, I feel like that's an amount that could kill someone for sure. Even
Yeah.
if they're not super
Oh,
allergic.
absolutely. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
I felt weird. Like, for like an hour afterwards, I felt like high. It was
Bee-high.
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bee high. That's not good. Nobody wants that.
No.
So that's how the day started. But also, I would have expected that to bring like some level of grace to the situation. Like, oh, you got swarmed by bees. You're not so grounded anymore. None. None at all. It was like, all right, well, now that the bees are gone, you can go ahead and finish mowing the lawn.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then
Definitely
after
been in
that,
situations like that.
we had to go get a new pool liner for their above ground pool, right? So we were both 16, and he had a car that he was getting. It was a Dodge, what was the small, Dakota, the small Dodge truck. It was like a Ford Ranger. And he was like obsessed with his truck. It's all he wanted. It was his grandfather's truck, and he was passing it down, right? So it was his truck, but he couldn't have it yet because I think he only had his. I don't know, because he was driving his mom's car. I don't know. Anyway, but there was some reason that they hadn't given him the car yet. Maybe it was just because his older brother had wrecked his first car, and maybe that's what it was. They were just letting his older brother drive the car until they got him a new one. Anyway, because of that, that's not nice. Because of that, we had to go get this giant fucking rubber pool liner in his mom's Mitsubishi Eclipse. Okay? And we go to the pool supply store and we pull up, and the first guy was like, I'm not giving it to you. I'm not letting you put it in that car for liability reasons. I'm not going to do it because it also weighed like 200 pounds. It was fucking huge. So So we finally convinced somebody to get the shit out and give it to us and put it in the car, and we loaded it. And when we're on the way back, he gets a call from one of his parents, but he just like declines it. And it was like early enough in like people having cell phones that was acceptable. Like if you were driving,
right, to just call.
You just to reject the call and to just be like, I'll answer it when I get to where I'm going. Whereas now you'd be like, well, send me a text message or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing?
This isn't part of the etiquette,
right? So he just declined it, but waited until we got home. So we get home, nobody's there. We're unloading this stupid fucking thing. We drag it all the way around to the back of his house, and we had to like dig out all the sand and make the shape of the pool to put the new liner in. And we're doing all this shit for the rest of the fucking day. And nobody comes home. We're trying to figure out like what the fuck is going on. And we haven't heard from anybody, right? And he finally was like, oh shit, my mom called while we were on the way home. I should call. So we call mom, and she is at the fucking hospital.
Oh.
And the reason she's at the hospital is because his older brother, while driving his fucking, like, his truck, but it wasn't his truck yet, they were running from the police because they were speeding, and the cops fucking saw them. And there was this turn right outside of this neighborhood on a fairly main road that was literally an L, like just a hard fucking left. And it was a field beyond that. And he had come around the corner at like 50 miles an hour and rolled the truck like 6 times through the fence into the field. And absolutely demolished the fucking truck.
Oh,
right?
well, yeah.
Destroyed it.
Like NASCAR level fucking
Oh,
truck.
yeah. And his buddy, like, broke his arm, but I think that was it. Other than that, they were both fine, but they were just at the hospital because his buddy was getting the cast off or whatever. So he ended up not getting a car. So his brother had wrecked his first car, and he couldn't have the truck that he wanted because they were like, well, he needs something to drive because he wrecked his first car, and then he fucking rolled his car. So then both of them didn't have a car for like 2 years. How was that? I guess that was the story.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to guess who was lying to me now?
Yeah.
Those were like both the longest stories I've ever heard in my life. For the one of them to be fake is pretty fucking crazy. I feel like both of them have to at least be based on true stories somehow. But I kind of think Scott was lying.
We didn't ask.
Like Hollywood?
We didn't ask.
Like based on a true story?
She's more of a
Yeah.
Bollywood fan.
I think Scott was lying.
You're on the money though.
What?
No,
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything about Bollywood, that's for sure.
I know nothing. I haven't seen that many films in Bollywood yet.
Do not knock over this piece because of a fly. That is the most
It's like wrecking a Cadillac because of a
Dude.
squirrel.
dumb and dumber right here.
My roommate said that
Man.
flies can see the future, and I said, "What?" And he's like, "How else do they move so well? But like you can never swim a fly." What do you think of that?
It's
I've killed plenty of flies, sir.
No, but I
The
mean,
reason
like bees
flies
just a fly.
It's because you can't move fast enough to hit them most
Right,
of the
that's
time.
right.
They
It's
see
just
you.
because the reaction time is
Of course,
less.
yeah.
Like
Smaller body to move too.
So you know how you do it?
It's the
Do you know
swatter
how you
works
get them
'cause they don't
every
see it.
single time?
How?
So
Yeah,
when a fly takes off, every single time, they move up and back, and then they fly off.
No fucking way.
If you watch it like slow-mo, they do the exact same motion every
They
single
launch.
fly when they take off. So if you time it to that first motion, you can hit them every single time because they have to do it.
That's
Oh,
fine.
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm a liar? Gabe's story sucked.
Hey. It wasn't.
I was speaking to my friend in confidence. Could
My
you not
story didn't necessarily suck. It just didn't have an ending. You know?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like a good story would do?
So that's kind of one reason why
I've never
I think
told that story before.
that was a real
Meanie.
story.
I could tell.
But I don't know. It looked like you were
That's what
backtracking a lot more. It looked like you were backtracking a lot more and looking up.
Ooh.
Oh, so you're like FBI analyzing me. You like,
Yeah.
like
Well, no, I was just
reading
watching
body
how both
language.
of you guys were sitting and
Like
like
body
where your eyes
language.
were. I mean, I don't necessarily think the eye stuff works all the time, but like I do watch where people's eyes go when they're telling stories.
So it's body language that makes you. It has nothing to do with the stories. It has everything to do with body language.
Well, I also said you backtracked and added details a lot more. But I don't know if that's just how you tell stories because you're smoking weed or if that's because you were making it up. You know what I mean?
But I was, first of all, if I was making it up, I had like 2 days to make it up. So why would I sit here?
He had 2 days to make his up too.
Yeah, it still sucked.
Yeah, I think that was a violent stab.
So, was I wrong then?
No.
No. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Proving
hell
once
yeah.
again that women are always right. Allison came on our podcast. This is a podcast about feminism, and then
Yeah, it always has been. That's how this podcast started.
With Bo like screaming in the background.
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
That's the outro music. Well, thanks for coming on.
They're pissed now. Damn. Sorry I gotta write you guys.
No. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, you're smart to I was definitely like looking away and stuff, trying to tell the story.
Well, you were looking up a lot, and you were like looking kind of like even or down, or just making more eye contact with us.
The reason I told the story the way I did though is to like add detail because of your story, because you were like adding like it was important to know that he had ALS and
Right.
you know what I mean. So I just felt like it was important for you to know that my grandfather had Alzheimer's, dementia.
No, for sure. I just felt like you kept going back and adding other stuff a little bit out of order or something.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad that we don't date. If I was cheating on Allison, she would catch
She
me
would
so
know.
fast. She'd be like,
Before you did.
yeah, right. Yeah, she's like, I saw
A girl would slide into the DMs, and I'd know before you opened it.
You would respond to her.
My horse senses are tingling.
Well.
That was a good story. I
Yeah.
liked your story.
Thank you.
It's crazy. I've never heard that one before.
You hated my stories.
No, that
That was a
fucking
good story.
bee stings, dude.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's legit. I've been swarmed 4 separate times by bees.
That was the one. That detail was
Fucking
the one
brutal.
thing that made me think maybe this wasn't a real story.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, if he's been sworn multiple times, he could make a story up about it. But
All of a sudden it was my girl. You were like, I've heard this before.
I mean, I've also just dealt with bugs in Texas. They're fucking terrifying. Like the ants alone, Jesus. There's bullet ants.
Dude,
What do they
I've
do?
gotten bit.
Yeah, I had one.
Their
my
bite
backyard
feels
the other
like
day.
you've been shot. Like dead ass. That's why it's called that.
No
They call
fun.
them cow killers also.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the females are super frightening because they're bright orange and they're this big.
Yeah,
Well,
give them a
don't show
little,
it to
give
me.
them a little goob later. They're fuzzy and like black with a black
Oh
stripe,
yeah,
right?
they're kind of
Yeah.
that's
We have
disgusting.
scorpions around here too.
I've seen those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
had a
nuts.
friend post a scorpion that was
Oh,
like in
I
her.
still haven't
I
seen
killed
those
one in my
stories.
bathroom.
Yeah.
See, no, I don't like that.
I killed one in my bathroom. Oh, dude,
Why is
growing
she so
up,
calm about that? I
growing
hate
up-
that. I hate this.
growing up in Round Rock, our house was like built on the edge of like some forest, and we for sure had like hella scorpions in the house for the first 5 years.
God, no.
It kind of settles after a while and they go away, but
I worry about my dog with like shit like that.
luckily, dogs like can handle it pretty well. I mean,
I
obviously
mean,
they're
we
not gonna
wouldn't
like
die
it.
from those. Right?
No,
They're just
they
little
just
stings.
suck. Also,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like when I saw
Ugh,
mine, it's
yeah.
very obviously a scorpion. Like, he saw me, like, trying to go for him, and he did his little fucking, like, charge thing. Like, they'll do a little charge, like, they'll start running at you with their claws up and shit, but you can just smash them with a shoe. Like, they're
Yeah,
just
it's
like a
nuts.
cockroach.
Yeah.
And they don't go as fast
Really?
as a cockroach. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw someone, my boss, step on one at a place once, and it blew my mind. I was like, no way you do that.
Well, so this
So
was
you
so
so you
funny.
can just
is
stomp
I had
one.
a, I had
you
a,
just stomp it out. That's what you're telling
use
me.
a shoe for sure. Don't
Yeah.
slap it. They have a stinger.
Well, no, I'm saying like if I
Yeah.
have a shoe on,
Yeah.
I can stomp.
100%.
It. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, like my roommate thought they had harder shells than that, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh no,
I think it's like a
just
crustacean.
it's like a yeah, it looks like a crustacean, but no, it's just like a road shell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. Man, that's man.
Does
Thanks.
that make you feel better?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I had no idea that they were just a squishable thing.
I'll show you some gnarly
I
photos.
now
Like
I
the
did,
one
I
that
did
I-
know
Does it make
like,
you feel better? 'Cause
Like
you're-
the one-
yeah. So I figured that was the case with the smaller ones, but I do know there are some
Even the
that
bigger
are, like,
ones. I
fucking-
mean, I'm sure the shell is a little harder, like a big beetle shell, but
Yeah.
it's still a bug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a land crustacean. He's as
At
much
that
as
point,
they
they're
push
not really
you.
gonna bother you if they're
Also,
that
the
big.
bigger
That's in
ones
the
are the
wild.
ones
If they're
aren't,
that
like-
big, you're probably in the wild. Yeah, like the one I killed in my bathroom was
Yeah.
like this big.
Okay.
That's a little one.
I feel better now.
At
I've
that,
seen like up to that big.
holy shit.
Still gonna be a strange
In your
encounter
house.
the first time it happens, but
houses
I feel
or
like more
around
confident
houses.
now.
For sure,
about,
the
like,
first time you
how to
have a
handle that.
standoff with a scorpion, yeah, it's gonna be a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just kill it ASAP.
It just comes running
It
at
is
you.
kind of worth it to watch them try and run at you a little bit.
Yeah,
It's kind of
absolutely.
it's kind of crazy. They'll go for it. They can't like shoot their whatever. They can't shoot anything. So
Yeah, they can just like sting.
if
or
they're
claw.
coming, like if they're running away from you, kill them as fast as you can. But like if they're trying to like go for it, it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly to watch for a second.
Okay.
Have you ever
Or
caught,
just Google
have you
what
ever
it looks
caught
like.
one?
Huh?
Have you ever caught one?
Oh no, hell no. But my roommate did because she like didn't know if she could smash it or not. So like she did catch one time, and she said they like caught it in a thing of Tupperware, and then I think they literally
Nice.
just sprayed like bug spray into it or something.
Oh,
That's way worse.
fumigation.
Yeah.
Fucking gas chamber. The scorpion.
Yes! Fuck!
Little scorpion
Terrible.
Auschwitz.
I mean, fuck those guys though. Honestly, they suck.
Yeah.
They're scary for sure. Not pro scorpion in the house. Let me be very clear.
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't invite them in.
Well, yeah.
Check
Dude,
your boots and your shoes if you leave them outside.
that's fucking true. Like that, I see the
Oh.
fucking billboards.
Oh
here.
yeah, I
It's
killed a
problem.
black widow, dude. Did you see that on my Instagram story? I killed a black widow outside of our garage.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
She
not
was
right.
fat too. Like I think she was about
We
to
have
lay.
those?
We
an
had
egg.
those in Virginia. That was. That's
She
the
was
one
like
that
her
come-
body was dead ass, like almost the size of a quarter though. That was one of the
Oh,
like I didn't know they got that big, and my sister-in-law saw the video and she was like, I bet it was about to lay an egg sack.
I saw one about that big in a like in the water valve
Yeah,
box.
just stay woke if you're in the Austin area. There's there's very much bugs. Like
Yeah,
like,
Texas.
we very much have bugs.
Again, Texas
like,
is the Australia
snakes.
of America. It's
Yeah.
all the poisonous shit.
Yeah, snakes, rattlesnakes, water moccasins.
It's home to every
copperheads.
poisonous snake in North America except one.
Huh?
I saw somewhere that it was home to every venomous snake in North America except one.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm sure there's pythons and shit somewhere too.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
There's hella pythons in Florida. It's like actually a problem.
Are those?
They're
Yeah,
invasive.
the Everglades
They're
is
invasive.
crazy, dude.
Oh, they're invasive
To
from
the
people.
point-
People bringing them as pets.
Dumb.
And then
To
just,
the point that they literally have hunts every year.
because they're
Silly
killing the
boars,
native
too,
species
yeah.
and
so
and
bad.
people can't kill enough of them.
They're
Can you
killing.
do
They're
anything with
they're
snakes?
destroying the Everglades. Actually, like it's the
Yeah.
thing killing
Yeah.
the Everglades.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they eat everything.
Would you go and hunt them? If you could get a pass to go.
Yeah,
a
I'd
free
do it.
pass,
I would do it as long as I like made sure we had proper safety equipment as much as
Right,
that's
yeah,
possible.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Can they
Yeah.
jump out of the water and get
Because
you?
there's also like other critters out
Yeah,
there.
jump
shooting
Oh yeah,
out
they
of the
can
water.
jump
Can
for
they,
sure. I would just I mean I would really want to make sure there's like some sort of hard equipment covering most of my body.
Yeah.
And, like definitely my vitals.
There's-
They're
Supposedly some
fairly
big
like
cats in,
as long as
Florida,
you
too.
see them, they're not very dangerous to humans.
Well, but
Right.
they're dangerous.
Like if you can get a hold of its head,
Yeah, I mean
They're big, though.
That's why
yeah,
I'm
they're
fishing,
they're
you know.
big, yeah, absolutely. But if you
When
can
they
get a
What do
hold
you do once you have it said? You just
When they
squeeze
go
it.
on
because
these
they don't have any fangs, you know what I'm saying? They can't, and they're not gonna bite you and also we're not like a food source, so they're not gonna try to
Do
constrict
you know
so
on
you
these
can get a hold
hunts,
of them.
are they shooting them on these hunts or are they?
I
fishing
I would
them?
imagine that's probably the best. That's
Yeah.
probably the easiest way, especially if you're
assume
trying to
it's-
get a bunch of them.
I assume it's no holds barred, do whatever necessary type shit.
I think that's actually the rule year round in Florida now.
I mean,
you
that
can
does- that
literally
sounds
just kill
harsh.
them anytime.
It
you
sounds
see
harsh, but that's basically how it
You
is
have
with
to.
hogs in Texas too.
them. Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they're
just
so destructive. They breed so much, and they just like constantly are like they're so invasive. They destroy crops. They tear down fences. They can breed 3 times a year, starting at 6 months old, and they have 8 to 12 babies per litter. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Fucking
Yeah, they
just
multiply like crazy.
just
People,
60 babies a year out of each pig. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Are you
Yeah.
still thinking about taking some Austin comics, helping some friends learn hunting stuff like that?
I would definitely take people to like shooting ranges and stuff like whenever. As far as like
What about
going
one of
out.
those helicopter?
So that's
Oh,
what I was
I
gonna say.
do
That's a
that
thing
so
that they
bad.
do in Texas.
But
I
that shit's
think,
like $2
I
grand.
think Dean's into that and stuff. I personally
Pretty
don't like that
crazy.
type of hunting, but you are legally allowed to be strapped to the outside of a helicopter and take a semi-automatic and just nail hogs at night. They take like a spotlight and yeah, I mean you can do that for sure. I don't like to do that, but
well, no, that's not why you're not doing that for hunting. You're just doing
that's
that
like
as
a thrill thing.
Yeehaw! That's
yeah,
fine.
because
Yo, yeah,
no, I mean
exactly.
I would definitely be down to like try and go hunting at some point. There's public land and shit. But yeah, I would for sure take you guys to like shooting ranges or whatever.
We were talking about the other night about like hunter safety courses and like, gun safety courses. My knowledge of guns is like lacking a lot, so I'd like to look into stuff like that. I mean, I pass the range every fucking day.
I mean, it's good to know, like, it's controversial, but whatever. Like, my opinion is, like, the people that are the most scared of firearms are the ones that don't know how they work.
Yes,
and
yeah,
also,
teaching people how they work is the easiest way to
and
to
also,
keep issues from happening with them.
most people who mishandle them, aka turn them on other people, have never had prior experience with them either, so they don't actually understand the repercussions of what happens when you pull the trigger.
Yep.
So it's like, I've never shot at a person, obviously, but I've shot at plenty of targets. I've shot animals. I know what happens when I pull the trigger. I'm very careful if I have a firearm. Like, never would I ever want to take that into a place where I could put someone in danger. You know what I mean? And so I think that's kind of like one way people are trying to look at it is like, if you're going to be handling them, be educated, because that way you're not going to act out of fear and you're not going to act out of ignorance. It's like the number one thing they're going to teach you in that class is like, obviously, like be confident when you handle it, but know that if you pull the trigger, you're going to jail. You pulled the trigger on someone, you're going to jail. Even if they broke into your house and you were in the right and everything's going to be fine, you still got to lawyer up, you got to go to jail. They gotta process you, get your take on things, whatever. You have to understand that there are repercussions legally like that, and also morally. What if you kill the guy? How do you handle that, you know? And they really talk to you about that. So I think that's like
that's
a
good.
side
That's
of
healthy.
like I think that's like a side of gun ownership that people don't hear about a lot.
I think it's important.
I wish that like more people, at least like even if they didn't want to touch a gun, like took a class to understand that. That's what they're teaching in those classes. Because, like, that's literally what they taught me, and I took my class in Georgetown.
I think it's good of you to advocate for that and speak your mind on that, with what you just said. Because, yeah, it's true.
I mean, yeah, my family always just uses it for hunting. It feeds us, so.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah. But everyone has their reasons.
Yeah. It's. I mean, any topic like that gets muddied by politics is gonna be, you take something and make it black and white. It's this.
Yeah, I've also just learned that if
exactly.
I'm gonna open my mouth on this subject, we're gonna piss someone off on social media. So
course.
let's just say what I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really
you're
care
better off just
anymore,
being
you
yourself.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I had someone comment on a video recently where she was like, I offhandedly said I had shot a deer the prior weekend. Like, it was not a main focus of this video. But this person commented, wow, you have so many McDonald's in America and you still chose to kill something yourself. And if that's how the internet's going to react,
that's quite a...
to quite literally anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's no logic. I'm just...
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Where do you think McDonald's gets their...
I don't want to know.
meat? Like,
I don't.
Also, I think it's much healthier
They gotta kill an animal still.
If anything, it's a compliment. There's that many McDonald's, and you choose to kill your own animal?
still killed your own? Yeah, exactly.
Admirable.
Yeah, definitely an interesting logic, to say the least. But,
Anything to plug?
Yeah, plug your shit.
Litty Titty Tuesdays at the Creek in the Cave, twice a month. At Litty Titty Comedy on Instagram for updates on that. And my Instagram and everything else is Alliwo, ALLIWO.
We'll put all that in the description too.
Alliwo.com, Alliwo on YouTube, all that stuff. Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, this was a blast. Thank
Yeah,
you very much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
This was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
You're a good guest.
Yeah.
How many podcasts have you done?
I don't know. I don't know.